attention, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain tonight. We gonna let it rain tonight. We gonna let it just like the sunrise. We gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain tonight. We gonna let it rain tonight. We gonna let it just like the sunrise. We gonna let it rain.
Hey, I said we get in here and get to it quick, didn't I? Yes, I did. We still got people, I'm sure, coming in, or maybe that's just my vanity showing. John Burns says, I'm ready to wreck 'em. Go Jackets. Hell with Georgia beat Syracuse. Yeah, we desperately need to beat Syracuse. Gaming Lord singing his old Confederate war song. Classy. Nice. T. Brant says ready to roll. Great ATL Wade. Been driving all day from Disney. I'll be glad to listen in. Well, I'm glad you're listening in, man. I don't know if you're coming back from vacation or not. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, or if you could hear it in my voice in the video that I recorded early this morning. But I am a not whale. I can't kick this cough. All the sinus drainage. It's not good when your hobby is talking into a microphone. The Adam, very excited to be going to the game this weekend. Me too, man. Night games in Atlanta are always cool. I'm trying to think. We have to have had more night games this year than we have in the past 20 years. Like, we have to have. Mystic Gaming says, anyone want to go to the game Saturday? I got an extra ticket and need someone to go so it's not wasted. Well, there you go, guys. If you're looking for a ticket and you want to support your Jackets, and those two things should come into the same sock, hit up Mystic Gaming. Gaming Lord says, on one hand, I want Georgia Tech to win, but on the other hand, I want them to lose because then Georgia will keep them from making a bowl. That's how you should think. Like, I don't take offense to that at all. I don't want good things to happen to Georgia. I don't expect Georgia fans to want good things to happen to Tech. That's what a rivalry is. I had someone comment, like, you need to stop talking about that team up north. And they're a Tech fan. And I'm like, sir, do you know what a rivalry is? Like, do you understand? That's what's fun about college football. Let me lay this out for you guys. The fun thing about college football is it's the only scenario where you get to hate somebody just for one thing, for who they root for who they're associated with. It's amazing. In 2023, it's the only time you can hate somebody, and it's justified. And that's what I love about college football. So, for anyone who needs to hear it, for anyone who thinks that I'm just going to come out and be super, like I'm going to praise Georgia or something, is out of their mind. I don't care how many games they win or how bad we might be. It's like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I would expect no less from Georgia fans. I mean, is that hard to understand? Anyways. Great ATL Wade said, yep, it was a nice short trip, just getting back into town. Get some things done tomorrow, and then get ready to be under the lights at Bobby Dodd Stadium Saturday. Well, good deal, man. Good deal. Buzz Talk says, got that sick Riz. Yeah, I'm now ingratiated with the Zoomer vernacular. I've got like Zoomer Rosetta Stone that I've been listening to. I'm writing a paper on you guys. Not even for school, just to do it. My own independent research. Our good word is to hell with Georgia. TF, does he mean stop talking about UGA? Yeah, I don't get it. Like, honestly, if someone says to me that claims to be a Tech fan, you need to be nicer to Georgia because they've won a lot recently, I don't consider that person to be a Tech fan. I really try to avoid fan gating. Like, I don't like that. You run into this a lot. Well, you're not a real fan if you didn't graduate from there. Or you're not a real fan if you don't go to all the home games. I don't agree with any of that, by the way. This is the one instance where I think it's okay to say, I question whether you're a fan if you want me to be cordial to a rival. Mystic says, I hate the ACC as a whole. Know a guy who's a Tennessee fan that will root for the Mutts over a lot of teams. That's the other great thing. Like, it is this tribal type thing, right? The only thing you're going on is you root for that team, and that means piss on you. And then it extends to the larger thing. So the ACC. Generally, ACC fans hate SEC fans. It's the way it should be. Right? That's why we keep track of, in bowl season, how many ACC teams make a bowl, how many ACC teams make it, SEC, Big 12, Pac-2 now. By the way, I read an article about the Pac-12 now Pac-2. And tell me how crazy this is. I guess the teams that are leaving still want their cut of the pie for like next year, even though they're going to a different conference. And Washington State and Oregon State were like, F y'all, took them to court. They're like, look, y'all went and got your bag. That's fine. But whatever bag is left for the Pac-12, now Pac-2, is ours. And I don't even think that court should have, but it should have been thrown out immediately. This is the silliest argument ever. But anyways, T Brant says, I won't even watch UGA unless they play Tech. I will watch UGA. But not because like I'm a fan of them. You know, I'm kind of in my heart rooting for whoever they play. Literally, our 75% of a Georgia Tech fan identity is hating. Yeah, exactly. Mark Cruz says, I want to get tickets to the Georgia game. The best thing you can do, and this is the only time it's a good idea to go on the Facebook groups, because usually the way of the Facebook groups lies madness. I mean, you spend too long in the Facebook groups and you're flinging poo at the wall and making murals out of it. It's not good for your psyche. You'll see a lot of triple option talk. And I had to comment on some of Gooser's stuff. Hold on one second. In fact, I'm doing something right now. Let me silence this. But if you're looking for tickets, the Facebook groups are a really good way to go. They usually will have a thread, like if you're looking for tickets, or you can post, I've done that before, hey, looking for two, you know, and a lot of times people will sell you tickets at face value. Because let me go on this little rant. StubHub and Ticketmaster and SeatGeeks and all of those assholes, I cannot stand. So my thing is, just tell me what it cost up front. Don't hit me with the rope-a-dope. Just tell me up front what it cost. What they'll do is say, well, the ticket's $115. Put in your card information. Once you do that, then it'll be like a $50 fee per ticket. It's not like processing your ticket scales with the number of tickets. It's the same amount of processing and everything. It's a total scam. It's 100% a scam. Remember when like Taylor Swift tickets were like $4,500, and then they made it where their fees scale as like a percentage of the ticket cost? Absolutely clown world. Makes no sense. Give me a second. I don't know how long I'll be able to go, but we do need to talk about some things. If we live up to some bowl predictions, I would love a Tech-Auburn bowl game. Absolutely agree. Tech-Auburn used to be a big rivalry. In fact, we historically have played Auburn pretty well. From when I remember. But yeah, I would love us to play Auburn. Adam says, I hated when the admin tried to push us to support UGA when they made their first national That's stupid. Absolutely stupid. Again, I guess like you have to break down what rivalries mean to people. John Burns says, I got kicked out of the Facebook groups. They're so heavily moderated. Like, they're way over moderated. Like, it took me a while. Like, I made a separate, because like Facebook won't let me make my name WreckTalk. It'll flag that as like, that's not a real name. You're up to no good. So my Facebook name is Jason Statham. And even then, I'm like, hey, I'm WreckTalk. I want to be a part of the Facebook group. It took a long time for me to even get approved to be in there. What do you mean, huh, Slim Shady? What's going on, Slim? All right. The reason I've called you all in here, and I'm not pointing fingers. Pointing fingers gets us nowhere. Slim. So when I put out my Syracuse preview video today, I got a few different comments that I kind of didn't understand how people came to the conclusion they did, and I feel like they really misunderstood what I was trying to say. It's always funny to me sometimes of a 30, 45 minute video, like the 20 seconds that people will fixate on, that I seemed like it, or to me seemed like this can't be controversial at all. Might have to get those. My name. What? Hold on. My name Bennett. I ain't in it. What's going on, Stan? So during the Syracuse video, I said, I really think that it didn't make sense for us to keep Haynes King in like the last half of the fourth, or like the last 5 to 6 minutes of the fourth, when there was really no chance we were going to win. Like, there was no realistic chance we were going to score like 4 touchdowns in 5 or 6 minutes. And I said, well, I don't understand why we didn't put Pyron in. Pyron hasn't really gotten, I mean, how many snaps has Pyron gotten this year? 10, maybe? I don't even know if he's got that many. And I moved down from where I was next to, like, Peter's Gate. I moved down closer to the field. And I was sitting with some Clemson fans. They were really nice. And it's like 4 minutes to go. Haynes King is, like, running read options. And they leaned forward. They were behind me, and they're like, why are you running your quarterback? Like, aren't you afraid he might get hurt in a game that's already well over? And you know what, guys? They had a really good point. They're absolutely right. So the comments generally, kind of melding a few together, were like, Haynes King has earned the right to stay in the game as long, like every down of every game. And they took what I said to mean that I am in favor of benching Haynes King. Now, I just assumed that maybe they were doing something else while they were listening to the video and kind of didn't understand what I'm saying, because that makes the most sense to me. I hope we can all see there's a world of difference in benching a quarterback and putting in the backup when you're getting blown out. One, we need Pyron to get snaps and series in the event Haynes King gets hurt. You don't want your backup to come out and he hasn't been in a game but 4 snaps all year. Buzz with the $5 super chat. My thing is, I don't think it was the smart option, but the only thing I can think is that they were trying to boost his confidence. Pad stats, I think, is what you're trying to say. I'm not saying you, Buzz Talk. That's not what I'm saying. That's what some other people were saying, though. Oh, well, you need to boost Haynes King's confidence. If you pull him out after he's thrown 4 picks in a game that he's getting blown out in, it's going to kill his confidence. Oh, and that's what I said, too. The only reason that I can think that you'd keep Haynes King in there is to pad his stats. I mean, does anyone else think that that's, like, crazy to think? You're not going to win the game. Clemson already has their 3s and 4s in. Why else other than he's about to hit some milestones as far as single season touchdown and passing yardage leader, would you keep him in? He only had, I think, I don't think he had any touchdown passes up to that point. He had 2 in garbage time. Now, as far as the confidence thing, first of all, I don't think confidence is Haynes King's problem at all. Number one, I don't necessarily know that Haynes King has some massive problem. He has a problem with throwing picks. I mean, he's got, 24 and 14 now. So he will force some balls. I don't know why we can't admit that. Like, I don't think anyone would have judged him if he's just like, yeah, you know what? We were down 2-3 scores, and we had to make a play. And so I threw some balls I wouldn't normally throw because we had to get points on the board. I'd be like, you know what? Don't blame him. Makes a lot of sense. I'm okay with it. Now, one of them was a pick six. So, do you if confidence was the issue, do you think throwing 2 touchdowns against Clemson's 3 and 4s after you threw 4 picks to their starters is going to give them confidence? Because I don't. Like, is that... And the other thing is, if he doesn't have the confidence he needs 10 games into the season, what makes you think throwing those 2 touchdowns against Clemson 3s and 4s is going to give him the confidence he needs? I believe Pyron will enter the portal this year. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, if I put myself in Pyron's shoes, I'd probably transfer, yeah. Because we have Aaron Philo coming in. We have Graham Knowles coming in, assuming we keep both of them. King will have 2 years of eligibility after this season. And I'm not saying he's better or worse than any of them. He's a fantastic quarterback. But when you are a talented quarterback, you want to go where you're going to play. Agreed, confidence is something King should have now. I think King's problem, if you want to critique him, is he might have too much confidence sometimes. Like, sometimes you might need to not throw that pass. You might need to realize that, yeah, I can't throw that ball because there's a defender in between me and the wide receiver. And look, this isn't at all me piling on Haynes King. Haynes King's been phenomenal this year for us. There's a reason that he's about to break some records. That being said, I think we're stat padding Haynes King toward the end of that game at Clemson because of the records he's coming up on. And if people want to say I'm crazy, then there's a long line of those. I like Pyron, but he will get outplayed by Philo. Well, I wouldn't say that look, playing high school, first of all, the level of play Philo is at Athens Christian. It's way different than like 6A Alabama football, right? And it's also, we haven't seen him play a down of college football. So I wouldn't say that. I don't think we have any reason to think that. He looks good at the level of play he's at now. I haven't watched a lot of his tape or whatever. He looks pretty fundamentally sound from what I've seen. I want Pyron to stay. Selfishly, Go Brody, Brody Rhodes. Mojo says, King's decision-making has always been the biggest question mark for me. Dude makes some very boneheaded choices sometimes. I'll say this. When we don't have I've said it like this before. When half of your playbook or more is taken from you, it puts the quarterback in a pretty precarious situation. He is going to feel like he's got to make every throw now. Haynes King has played very well when we've run the ball well. That being said, even when you feel like it's on your shoulders, you can't force some of the throws he has. That's for sure. He throws a bad pass and then throws more. It's like he tries to compensate for bad plays, which causes him more bad plays. It does seem to spiral. Have you seen Brody on the sidelines during the games? The kid has energy and he needs a chance to get some experience. Well, I think we should have put someone else in the garbage time against Clemson. I mean, somebody. And I don't know why that is, for some people, equivalent to benching King. Like, I did not see that response coming at all. Buzz Talk with a $10 super chat. It's confirmed Pyron is transferring. Pyron's mom posted on X. If people are doubting how far you can go so far you can't hear them anymore with a picture of Pyron. I saw that. That could mean a lot of things, though. I mean, that's definitely not confirmed. Yeah, it could mean he's transferring. I mean, who knows? When does the portal window open? I think it opens in December 17th or something like that. I'd have to look it up. Mojo says the interception. I appreciate the 5 and the 10 Buzz, by the way. The interception against UNC to start the second half is prime example of what I'm talking about. That was bad because we I'll be honest, that probably should have lost us the game. When you have a huge momentum shift in the game with like a special teams block punt like that, and then you just give it all back with an interception, so you kind of nullify what you just did. And look, block punts, block kicks, those kind of things are rare. They're hard to come by, even for really, really talented, really, really good special teams. Let alone what we're trying to build right now. And that was a pick. That's the thing with King sometimes. He'll throw picks that it's like, there's no justification for that. It's not like the wide receiver ran the wrong route or didn't get in the right position or didn't cut at the right time. There was literally, he was surrounded. It was like GTA 5 when you have a 5-star wanted level. That's what the North Carolina defenders were like. I think it was Leary he was throwing to. Yeah, you can't throw that ball. And again, I don't want this to turn into like a bash Haynes King thing, because again, the dude's got 2,424 yards or something like that, 24 touchdowns, the 14 picks hurt, but he's got like 542 rushing yards as well. Thing is, against Clemson, he had -3. They shut that down. Buzz with the $5 super chat says, with that, I think that's why he didn't go in, but he brings up the question, why not bring in Gibson? Well, here's the thing. What if Haynes King would have got hurt there and he was out for the rest of the season? Do you feel good about keeping him in to build his, confidence then? No, not at all. You bring in a backup quarterback. In fact, the better the quarterback, the more you're justified in putting a backup in. Like, this is kind of common practice in college football, right? You're down 3-4 scores with like 5 minutes to go. Put the backup in. Buzz with the $5 super chats. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Sometimes you just have to accept that you want 3 and out and are going to have to punt. Mojo said, no shade. I'm really glad he's our quarterback, but those dumb interceptions are what keep me from being 100% bought in. Now, I understand that. I mean, there are some really bad interceptions. And when you throw 4 in a game, yeah, but if you take him out against Clemson, who knows if he plays worth a shit against Q's? Well, let me tell you something, man. And I'm not coming at you, by the way, but this is how I see that. If you pull Haynes King out, first of all, I think that's kind of a courtesy to your quarterback. He's thrown 4 picks. You're getting blown out. Pull him out and get him out of there. I kind of think that that's helping your quarterback. That's kind of paying him some respect. But if you put the backup in a blowout like that, and that kills the psyche and confidence of your quarterback, you got a major problem with your quarterback. That's not good. That shouldn't be the case. Buzz with the $5 super chat says, I won't say much for obvious reasons, but there's a lot of talk on Rivals about Pyron. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Again, I don't want him to transfer. I think he's a great quarterback. He did great for us last year. I don't know. We'll see. Let me look at when the portal opens. Let's see. Transfer portal window. For football. They just approved smaller portal windows too. Slim disagrees, let players work their way out of a slump. Well, that didn't work too well for Haynes. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who's off. I mean, that wouldn't be the first time. That's happened several times. I just feel like you're getting blown out. Your quarterback's thrown 4 picks. Put the backup in and get – because I feel like as a head coach, you've got to think ahead. What if Haynes gets hurt in the Syracuse game and you don't have a single quarterback on your roster that has more than 4 snaps in game? When you could have gotten them 3 series in garbage time to get them, up to speed a little bit more so than just practice. I just feel like that's a smarter move. Let's see. I'm looking at the portal windows now. Changes, blah, 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 blah. Well, when do they open? May deadline to enter by May 1st. For fall sports, July 4th for spring semesters. I could swear that the portal open. Maybe one of y'all know. I could swear the portal opens up like late December. Sometimes a bird's eye view from the sideline might help, King. Well, unfortunately, it would be great if playing quarterback you had like a isotropic view of the field. That would help. Buzz with the $10 super chat says, that's why I said it's pretty much confirmed. It would be weird if he stays, and for King, you're a D1 quarterback. If getting benched in a blowout hurts your mind, go play D2. I'm not even saying that harsh, but if it first of all, it's not getting benched. Again, getting benched is worlds different from putting the backup in a blowout. But if putting the backup in a blowout makes you timid, then that is a problem. So December 4th to January 3rd. Okay, so we will know most likely. Let's see. 1, 2. In about 3 weeks. We'll know in about 3 weeks with Pyron. And I love Pyron. Look, we interviewed him on the channel. I think he's a fantastic quarterback. I think he's got the world ahead of him. He was a 4-star quarterback for a reason. He won multiple state championships in Alabama for a reason. Tech is better with him in the quarterback room. But we all want to be the guy, right? Now, let's talk about the advantages of staying. One, you get to develop in the same system, hone the skills in the same system for a second year in a row. Because this is everyone's first year under a Buster Faulkner offense. You have no idea what's going to happen next year. With injuries, Haynes King goes down. Maybe Haynes King takes a turn for the worst. Who knows? Who knows what series of events will lead you onto the field? Look what happened last year with Pyron. You had Sims, Gibson, and Pyron, I don't even know, was a clear third preseason. And he ends up being the guy, right? Unfortunately, breaks his collarbone against Slim's Miami, but how nervous is your wallet, Wreck? I mean, it would suck to have to pay you, Slim, but I'm not really nervous about it. If you got to pay, you got to pay. Now, I'll tell you who's nervous about bets is John the Liquidator, because he knows he don't have the money. Here's pretty much the thing. If someone's not, and this isn't a statement against me. I realize I just set this up like I'm some kind of player with money or something. I'm not. I just need to take a chance to dunk on John the Liquidator. If you are super financially sound, you'd just pay your bet. Yeah, like it wouldn't be a big deal. Like if you made a bet with someone for 50 cents and you lost, wouldn't you just pay it? $1,000 will be like that according to what he says he makes. But yeah, we need to win this game. That for sure. Where would I like to see Pyron go? If Pyron does transfer, I hope he goes to the best place for him to develop as a player. Like, there's not a specific, I don't want him to leave, but as far as Pyron, the player, the human being, whatever he needs to be the best player and the best man he can be, that's what I want, whatever that looks like for him. I couldn't possibly pontificate at what place that would be, though. WreckTalk bet on this game? No, I bet on Tech making a bowl, minimum 6 wins. Literally such a big dude. Who's a big dude? Pyron to Auburn? That would kind of make sense, actually. That would kind of make sense. Auburn needs a quarterback. Got to go Bryce's live, JK. No, you can go. I don't mind if you go to Bryce's live. I know that people like to think there's some rivalry between me and Bryce. That's Macho Wreck and Bryce that has a rivalry. Me and Bryce are friends. We're not the ops. Bryce is not the ops to me. I like Bryce. Bryce is a good dude. I support what Bryce does. Bryce Kuhn was like the 247 reporter for Tech this last season. This season he's at LSU doing a lot of great things. That's who Bryce Kuhn is. Wreck is no bet welcher. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, welching on your bets. Everybody on the internet is a millionaire. Yeah. Fun fact about millionaires: most millionaires you would have no idea were millionaires if you sat next to them. That's been my experience. Sounds like you want him to leave. I don't at all want him to leave. But I think he's a talented kid, and I hope him the best, whether it's with Tech, and selfishly I hope it's with Tech, or wherever it is. I'm really not one of these guys, and you see this a lot, especially in college athletics, where it's like, oh, if a kid transfers, give him the middle finger. I hope the worst for him. Like, I think that's kind of petty. I got $1. Despite what Rick said about me, he actually loves me. Are you trying, I feel like you're trying to manipulate me. This sounds like something, are you trying to get in my mind, Slim? Are you trying to get in my mind? Because let me tell you something about this mind. Nobody but me can thrive in there. It's driven people mad, including me. You have an important question. How many years before Haynes King goes bald? Let's take a look. I mean, does he have like a bad receding hairline or something? Let's take a look. Oh, I see it. I see it. You're right. We're not all as genetically gifted as Rec. I might have a lot of gray hair. In fact, we're going no hat. We're letting this thick, luxurious mane out tonight. Not everyone can be genetically blessed like me. Let's take a look. All right. I'll switch screens here and we can all get a good look and we'll all give our opinions. Let me make sure I'm not doxing myself right now. A mind that can understand a Fourier transform cannot be taken advantage of. Well, I'll be honest with you, B-Bean. Once you go down the rabbit hole of like physics and like what is reality and math is flawed from the onset, a guy named Gödel came up with an incompleteness theorem that says there are true statements in math that cannot be proven to be true. And then you're like, am I wasting my time? What is reality? This leads to solipsism, so on and so forth. Let's switch screens here. B-Bean got me off topic. Here we go. Now, we can see here, there's some clear recession. Much like the economy sometimes hits a recession, this is a rare instance of a dual recession. How many years before he goes bald? I think he's... how old is he? Not sure. I'd say minimum 7 years, maximum 17 years. There you go. There's a 10-year bubble there. He's 22. So he'll either be bald by 29 or 30. What did I say? I said 7 or 17 or 39. 29 or 39. I'm never going bald. I've already established this. That's not what I wanted. The Widow's Peak is strong with this one, yeah. Now, I feel like, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, evened it out with I have no facial hair. He put all my hair up here and other places. I really would rather be bald and have like a mountain beard. Wouldn't that be great if like before you were born, you could be like, hey, this is what I want. And it's kind of like in Fallout where like you're speccing your character and you only have a certain amount of points you can put into different things. I think that'd be a good way to go about it. Could we see Pyron go to Vandy? I think that's unlikely. Looking at his initial offer list, he might not be a bad choice. Macho Wreck does have a thick beard. He is blessed. Mike Popcorn Porter, the chosen pun. Say that 5 times fast. Popcorn Porter, the chosen pun. That's not that bad. What's going on, buddy? So Wreck would get a follicular unit transplant. Yeah, can they transplant the hair from your head into your face? Because look, it grows like right here, and then just right here, and then like in these patches. I've told you, like, if I were to like just let my mustache grow out, I lived in Gainesville, Georgia for a while. In fact, I lived in Gainesville, Georgia when Deshaun Watson was playing high school football at Gainesville High School. And I've been a degenerate before. Like now, I need to shave now. But I had the mustache going. And the gas station attendant started speaking to me in Spanish. And that woke me up to I needed to shave immediately. Thank you for addressing my question fully and completely as it deserved. That's right. Yeah, I even gave you a span there. Where are you sitting at the game this Saturday? I'm not sure. I will make a call after the show, and I will figure out where I'm sitting, and I will update you. I'm not sure as of yet. Most of the time I sit in section 106, though. I worked in Gainesville for a couple of years off McEver Road. I lived in Lake Lanier Club apartments at the time. And at the time, I had an apartment that in the winter I had a lake view. Like there were trees obscuring it, and I could see the lake in the winter. And it was $800 a month. And now it's like probably $2,000 a month. So you have no tickets. No, I do. It's complicated, okay? It's complicated. I will definitely be there. Don't worry about old Rec. WreckTalk will be there. $800 a month. That was in 2012. That was when the sun's poles were or the Earth's magnetic poles were supposed to switch, and there's going to be like a coronal mass ejection from the sun that ended civilization. Seems shady. Wreck Shady. Will the real Wreck Shady please stand up? I'm not saying if we lose it's your fault for not streaming it with C-Dog, but I am blaming you. That's fair. Have I been to a game we didn't lose this year? I didn't go to North Carolina. So I went to Boston College. We did win against South Carolina State, though we didn't look great. Where's the tailgate? I mean, I'm not sure. If you guys haven't seen, Ludacris is going to be at the Hell of a Block Party for the UGA game. So that should be fun. Wreck Shady is greater than Slim Shady? Yes. And I'm smarter because I would not pull an unloaded gun on somebody. Is there anything dumber than pulling a gun on someone and not having it loaded? The smartest stuff I did was take the bullets out of that gun. Man, that was prime WreckTalk growing up, listening to Slim Shady on 95.5 The Beat. The edited version. Oh, we have whiteout for this Saturday or no? I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about that. But there are some updates with Touchdown Tim. Let me go to my Twitter or X or whatever. I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter. So, can we just address that for a minute? I know it's been taught to death, but when you have a major established brand, why would you change it to something totally different? Like, could you imagine if I changed this channel from like WreckTalk to The Buzz or something? Like, people would just call me WreckTalk. Elon Musk changed Twitter to X. It's X now. Like, once you establish a brand, why would you change it? At least with Dunkin' Donuts, they changed it to Dunkin', which I still think was ignorant. But Touchdown Tim reached out to me, guys. He is going to send me and C-Dog the shirts, which I'm really stoked about. And he says the shirts are on their way. I said, thanks, man. Damn these Michigan cheaters. Trying, finding a rapport. That's called finding a rapport, guys. But I think it's a French word, so it's spelled stupid. He says, amen, brother. I can't stand the cheaters. I will soon be putting out an article about the whole thing. And he's going to blow the whole thing wide open. And then he says, my account is locked for 12 hours, brother. I hope these messages went through. So, and then he says, please advise if you receive these. So I think that Twitter, because he posts so much, thinks that he's a bot. Because the only person that would like tweet 1,000 times a day couldn't be human. And I think that's a compliment to Touchdown Tim. When you're so good at your craft that you are believed to be inhuman, I mean that's high level. That's high level Twitter usership. When I first saw it, I thought it was a virus of some sort and uninstalled it. Touchdown Tim is a breed beyond what we can really comprehend. It's some high level theory. Does Touchdown Tim use ChatGPT? Chat, even too hard for an electrical engineer like you. I mean, it makes me think of the movie The Prestige. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's all about your level of commitment. Some tricks might be simple. They're not easy. Taking on another person's life. So, let's talk about, I don't know how many of you watched the video today for Syracuse. And if you want to do a fun drinking game while watching that video that you might not survive, every time I say gimmicky nonsense offense, take a shot. Because Syracuse does a lot of gimmicky nonsense stuff. Sometimes they'll run their quarterback out. Sometimes they'll put him at wide receiver. Sometimes they'll put a wide receiver at quarterback. Sometimes they'll put their wide receiver at quarterback and then motion their quarterback and hand it off to him for him to fumble it. It's weird. And I said in that video, the thing that scares me is as gimmicky and silly as some of their offense is, I think it'll work against Tech's defense. That's how bad our defense has been. GT Falcons fan says, the funniest thing I've seen is him commenting on ladies' pictures and someone said, dude, aren't you married? Tim said something like, yeah, but my wife ain't on X. That's right. We could all learn something from Touchdown Tim. If your wife ain't on X, she don't know what you're doing. She's a bandwagon fan anyways. Screw her. He's thinking right. Q's lost 5 in a row before Pitt. B-Bean, I don't think you realize we have the 132nd ranked defense in the country. There's only one defense worse than ours. Or we might have the 130th ranked defense. There's only one or two defenses worse. We have the dead last rush defense, which is most of what Syracuse does. They're not very good at passing the ball. Schrader's only thrown for like 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns or something this year. Who is worse than us out of curiosity? Well, you know what? I have multiple screens, and I can tell you that. Let's go. I like to go to CBS Sports Stats. Let's look at all the defenses. Georgia Tech beat Miami, relax. Yeah. And I don't know if Slim's still in here. He probably migrated over to Lou's show. I think he does a call-in show tonight. We knew whether Miami was going to run or pass, though, and that's a pretty big advantage. Miami tipped their plays all night. Oh, you're here? Slim, I don't know if you watched that video. Would you agree that Miami tipped their plays against Georgia Tech offensively based on where your running back lined up? Because I am pretty skeptical of most everything. Someone posted that in a forum, and I looked at it, and I was like, that's 100% what they did. Which, then I was like, well, man, I'm not too confident now going into Boston College when our defense had that kind of advantage. And unfortunately, I was proven right. All right, let's look at defense, team. I want total defense, though. Hold on. Total defense. Complete stats defense. This is, hold on. I'm messing up. I'm not thinking too straight these days. Let's see. Not NFL. College football. Somewhat, but if y'all did know what we were doing and you still couldn't stop it, that would be my point, Slim. It shouldn't have come down to y'all, making a dumb decision not to take a knee and then a questionable fumble call. And that showed against Boston College in the next week. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's see. Teams. Go here. Is it taking me so long to find this? This is bizarre. Rankings. Maybe it's rankings? CBS Sports rankings? Rankings home? I'm determined to find it now. And I love when 40 ads pop up. College football team rankings. Did you hear that Michigan backed down? Yeah, that tells you that they don't they don't believe that they were going to win in court. The real questionable thing is if they beat Ohio State, make it to the Big 12 championship or the Big 10 championship and make it to the playoffs. Now everyone's going to be crying again for punishment. And now we've established that there's a punishable act because they accepted it. So they've accepted they should be punished. I mean, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. According to the NCAA, Coach Prime buffs are below us. Team stats. Here we go. Defense. I just want total defense. Maybe it's opponent. Interceptions, return for a touchdown, fumble, sack. Someone needs to post me a link. So Colorado's one of them. That's not surprising. Is UFC the other one? Here we go. I found it. I have found it. I have made fire. Oh, a team statistic. Here we go. Total defense. Here we go. Let's go all the way to the end. There are 3 teams worse than us. Here they are. In order. Stanford. Stanford has a worse defense than us. Colorado. And North Texas. Every other team in the country has a better defense than us, including teams such as Southern Cal, Nevada, Western Kentucky, California, Arkansas State, Tulsa, Temple, UConn, Colorado State, New Mexico, and the list goes on. There's like 126 teams better. Have I considered Have I considered what team will show up on Saturday? I don't know. I think I like our chances against Syracuse. Syracuse is a pretty flawed team. So is Tech, defensively especially. The thing is, Syracuse is no Clemson. Syracuse doesn't have the 6th ranked defense in the country. They have the 76th or 72nd ranked defense in the country. We should be able to run on them. Haynes King should be able to run on them. We should be able to throw on them. We should be able to run our offense as usual against Syracuse. And as I said in the video, if we can't have 400 plus yards of total offense against Syracuse, we probably don't deserve to go to a bowl, which I hate. I'll have to pay Slim, but that is what it is. If we can't be enough of a roadblock against the silly things, backflips from their quarterback that they like to do on offense, then we don't deserve to go to a bowl. Is what it is. Todd says, let me say this. If I've going against Tech, I do the Bowling Green blueprint. What was that? How much was a Slim bet? I think it was $100. It was $100, I'm pretty sure. But if we win against Syracuse, he'll have to pay. If we don't, we've got another week to find out. The bet continues. I was not going to stay on for too long tonight. How long have we been on? About an hour. So type your questions now. Again, I think I could just look at a few stats against Syracuse and tell you who wins the game based on those stats. One is how many points we score, and the other one is how many points they score. If I just know those two things, I'm confident I can tell you who wins the game. Now, if rushing yards for Tech, especially rushing, probably if I just knew the rushing yards Haynes King has and the tackles for loss we have on defense, I could probably tell you who wins the game just based on that. Who do you want to play in a bowl game? I would love to play Auburn in the Gator Bowl. I think that would work great. Teams that have history, neither one of them have to travel too far. That's in Jacksonville, Florida, which is in the northeastern part of the state. Auburn would be great. And I would love it if we beat Hugh Freeze, because I don't really like Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze is kind of like Jimmy Swaggart. Now I'm going way back. I would be surprised if anyone under the age of 40 knows who Jimmy Swaggart is in the chat. Does anyone in the chat even know who Jimmy Swaggart is? I have sinned against you, Lord. He basically, I think he's Jerry Lee Lewis's cousin, which probably no one under the age of 50 in the chat knows who that is. I think he was getting hookers, and he's a televangelist and smoking meth with hookers and stuff. I'm 60, so yes. Well, it was a fun time. I want to play primetime, see for once and for all who has the worst defense. Jimmy Lee Swaggart is an American Pentecostal televangelist. Jimmy Swaggart Ministries owns and operates Sun Life Broadcasting Network. And he is the cousin of Jerry Lee Lewis. The Killer. He was one of the big four to come out of Sun Records. It was Elvis, was it Perkins, Johnny Cash, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Slim would probably know that. He's not far from where Sun Records started. Didn't Jerry Lee Lewis marry a 13-year-old? Not only did he marry a 13-year-old, he married a 13-year-old that was his second cousin while he was married to his second wife. So yes, it includes a 13-year-old, but she was also related to him, and he was also still married to his second wife. Angling, kiss my ass. That being said, brought in boogie woogie music to the mainstream. Elvis did too, I think. Well, that's kind of a secret. Elvis really liked young women. Yes, he did. I would never marry my cousin. No. I mean, think about this. Of all the women, what are there, like 7 billion people approximately on the planet? I think approaching 8. It might be over 8 now. Let's just say it's 8. And let's say half of them are women. Of the 4 billion women, you have to marry your cousin? I don't get it. Seems like you need to broaden your horizons a little bit. Maybe get out of that town you grew up in. Do a little traveling. I don't know why you would say that, B-Bean, like it's like anyone would think I would. Great Balls of Fire, that's right. Apparently in the South, your cousin could be the one. Buzz Talk, Riz Talk, the Rizzler, the Riz Bug. Now, I don't know if tagging Riz with those words changes the meaning of it. I feel like in Spanish, depending on what word is next to the verb, it changes the meaning. So maybe it's something like that. Prediction of the score. On Saturday, I think I did predict it. I said 42-38. I think Syracuse is going to score some points on our defense. I do. I don't know who Godot is. Anthony Edwards did Great Balls of Fire better. I don't know if I've seen that one. I saw the Dennis Quaid one. I thought he did a good job. Swaggering Lewis and Mickey Gilley, all cousins. Remember Red on the 70s show told Eric he couldn't get close to his cousin because he didn't want any grandchildren with flippers? Jesus. Yeah, I think someone from that 70s show just got sentenced to like life in prison, didn't he? And this might be the end of the channel. As it pertained, he was a member of the Church of Scientology. Wonder Woman? Yeah, I know Wonder Woman. I didn't know that was her name. Yeah, I didn't know that was her name. Buzz with a $5 super chat. I will storm the field and attack Schrader if he does a backflip on us. I don't want to see no silly antics. I know. What happened to you were hurt, Schrader. You're stronger every time we see you. Doing backflips. In pads. How difficult... Is there anyone in the chat that can do a backflip? How difficult is it to do a backflip with, like, I don't know, 10 pounds of pads on or however much they weigh? Q's 33, Georgia Tech 34. It's a close one. I agree it's going to be close. Well, if she ain't good enough for your family, she damn sure ain't good enough for ours. Backflips are easy? I don't know. I tried to do a backflip once and landed on my head. Anthony Edwards did Great Balls of Fire and Top Gun. Oh. Maybe I need to go watch Top Gun again. By the way, Boogie Woogie Piano might be my favorite kind of music. It's either that or bluegrass. Probably bluegrass. I like Boogie Woogie's a second. Got to have a strong left hand. And you guys know how I feel about left-handedness. I watched Pigskin Pete throw that football to Nate the Great left-handed. It made me sick. It made me sick because the ball spins counterclockwise. And there's no need for that. If we beat UGA, we're going to find out if I can backflip. Okay, I would make that bet. If we beat UGA, I will attempt to do a backflip on stream. That might be the last thing I ever do, but I will attempt it. What would the line be if they set it today against Georgia? It would have to be like 21 or more. It would probably be like 21 and a half. What do you guys think? Minus 22? Yeah, I think it's around 21 points. I could be wrong, though. I mean, you don't often see lines that are like 4-score lines. Rick, didn't you say you would drive to Athens or something if we won? Yeah. Well, that was when we played them in Athens, though. Isn't it true that you don't like the varsity? I don't. The varsity is really more of a medical exercise in laxatives. First of all, let's say it was decent, and it's not. You're spending like $20 for a hamburger meal that is going to destroy your toilet. Why would you do that? The only thing that's worth getting at the varsity is a Frosted O. I said it. I thought the varsity was an Atlanta landmark. There's a lot. First of all, if you want a good burger, you go to Vortex. Vortex is where you go to get a good burger. They have burgers. They have like a coronary triple bypass burger. If you want some good Southern food, you go to Mary Mac's, South Ponce. What are some other really good restaurants around Atlanta? There's like Ray in the City that's decent. There, if you want to take your lady to someplace special, there's a sundial on top of the Weston Tower. It used to rotate, but someone died, got caught in the mechanism. It was really cool because the sundial restaurant, it was like at the top of this skyscraper building, and the whole restaurant would rotate once an hour. So you got to see the whole city every hour. Bryce just predicted Tech 34-24. Okay, good deal. People are crying about $18 Big Macs in Cali. Well, I've made my stance clear on the whole West Coast. Yeah, I mean, they could have a $180 Big Mac. I don't care. There's a reason people are moving out of there. Have you ever been to Bones in Buckhead? No, but I've heard of it. Buckhead's on the north side of Atlanta. In fact, Elton John just sold his penthouse in Buckhead, and it went for like 4 times the asking price. Your 67 in the varsity has never affected me. Let me put it to you this way. I would only eat the varsity if like the rest of my schedule was free afterward. Like if I had a meeting or something after it, absolutely not. I would miss the meeting. What's in Cali stays in Cali. Not lately. What's in Cali seems to find its way to Georgia or Texas. If they know it's good for them. You could eat for a whole week on $18. Where are you shopping? Bread, peanut butter, ramen noodles, cereal, and milk. That's more than $18. Yeah. You could spend $18 on a single jar of peanut butter without getting something super fancy. You went to Atlanta once and was sad that you missed the varsity? Well, you weren't missing much, man. You weren't missing much. Anyways, I'm fading, guys. I appreciate all y'all stepping in. I'm sure I'll do a live tomorrow. I just had to come on here and clear some things up. That's all. I'm going to get some rest, try and recover. I'm sure I'll wake up tomorrow morning, hack up a lung, and drink way too much cough syrup. So, you guys have a good one. And if no one's told you, WreckTalk loves you.